Hi, my name is Brittany Thomas. I'm a relationship manager for JP Morgan Chase. I've been with the organization for 10 years, and the purpose of this presentation today is to gain your approval for direct email contact between agents and customers. So let's go ahead and talk about the objectives. Today we're going to be addressing a problem, which is customer contact rates, as well as the lack of email between customers and agents. Suggested solution, strategies for implementing, if accepted, and the evaluation process that will be achieved. So let's go ahead and talk about the problem. It's missed opportunities for customer contact. First and foremost, in our department, which is mortgage default, we have system records for all customers. In these system of records, what they do is they document every program, every process, every action, any paperwork that's being sent in. If contact is made with the customer or if contact is not made with the customer, it's still documented. And that's how we track our data. As you can see in our graph here, over the first 7 months of the year, January through July, January was the only month we were above 90%, which is our rate that we want to see. There has been a steady decline ever since, with minimum peaks in April, June, and July, though those were not at 90%. With the RPC rates at a decline, this has negative effects for customers, process with applications, and then on agent scorecards. This has a waterfall effect. Agents have negative scorecards. This reflects on the direct managers, to our vice president, to our department head. So we want to go ahead and rectify this situation. There have been customers, many customers, that have requested for direct email contact, to have basically an external email system. Our email system currently is only internal, where we can only email to other people within the organization. Not meeting our customers' needs can have an overall negative effect and a decline in customer satisfaction. Talking about our current online methods. Our current online methods that we do have right now are web-based updates, which are very generic. And there's no personality, there's no instructions. And there's also customer uploads. The problem with both of these is it's one-way communication, which would obviously need a follow-up phone call for further instructions. Obviously, we know the issue there with dealing with time zones, dealing with missed phone calls, missed appointments, and quite frankly, a lot of people don't like to talk on the phone or have time to talk on the phone. Having an email system, people are able to go ahead and quickly call, check their email, reply, get the communication done that way. With our current online methods, which are the online updates and the uploads, it's only at an 8% approval rating. Telephone ratings are below 50% for the topics I touched on, and there are very high inquiries for email. So this brings about the suggested solution, which will be direct email contact between agents and customers. Now, GSE is one of our biggest lenders, along with VA, FHA. These lenders encourage us to get in contact with our customers any way possible, preferably by their preference, whether that be telephone, email, by mail, however the customer chooses, whichever is best for them. That brings about customer satisfaction. In doing research, we can see that 75% of U.S. consumers now have smartphones. What does this translate to? It's easier for customers to basically do updates online. Easier to check web-based updates, do email with the smartphones on the go, rather than talk on the phone. Email is also cost efficient for our organization. So this once again brings about, let's create a pilot program, test out direct email communication, and see our contact rates go up. So the strategy for implementing. First and foremost, we'll get together our training and development teams. They'll set the protocol, procedures, processes, trainings. All of these will go ahead and meet our legal guidelines. We'll check with our legal department, make sure everything is in order with Chase's guidelines on what can be communicated and what cannot, and of course having a positive representation of our organization. Our budget will go ahead and be $6,000. This will allow us to use HyperOffice secured email for external email service. With this email service, it protects us from spam and viruses. It has a large database for storing emails and email history. It has encryption and collaboration tools, which will all benefit the organization, agents, and customers. So once that is all obtained, we'll then select 25 of our top employees. These 25 top employees will be a part of the pilot program. They will complete 1 week of training prior to the deployment of this program. The pilot program will last 90 days. When contact is made via email, it will be coded in the customer system of record. So we'll be able to track and compare the right party contacts prior to the pilot and then after the pilot. In doing research, I was able to gain an interview with one of our upper management, Ms. Ada Jackson. She has explained to me that there has been talk about implementing an email program, though unfortunately, for one reason or another, it's been pushed to the back burner or put to the end of the list, basically. We need to meet our customers' needs and be able to supply them with a method that they prefer. So we went ahead and discussed a tentative implementation process for getting everything established. If I was to gain your approval today, and we can start setting everything up, we can go ahead and set the protocol by the end of this year, in December. Following shortly with legal guidelines and policies and procedures, going through mid-2018, and then employee training, and then roughly being able to start about mid-2019 for the pilot program. She explained that customers would benefit from this. It would also benefit agents if we are able to get this off the ground and running, and she supports the idea. Now, what will we do after the pilot program? We'll go ahead and evaluate it. After the 90 days has completed, for our quantitative data, we will go ahead and pull the coding from the customers that were included in the pilot program. The coding that's placed on the account will know and track all the contacts that were made via email. We're going to go ahead and compare those to the contact rates for the last basically 7 months, the beginning of the year. So January through July of 2017. We'll compare those numbers to the numbers that were obtained during the pilot program. We are expecting to see an increase in volume with the right party contacts. For our qualitative data, for the agents and customers that did participate in the pilot program, they will receive a survey. For the customers, it will focus on communication times, methods, timely responses, and their overall feedback of the program and how they feel about the email communication. Employees will have a more concentrated survey in dealing with the effects on their workload, their satisfaction of the program, and if they have obtained more right party contacts. Obviously, we're hoping to go ahead and see an increase and an overall high approval rating for the program for both customers and employees. So to review, the problem overall is not reaching 90% of a contact rate, not having email communication available, and only having internal email. Our solution would be the pilot program, a secure protection using HyperOffice, and also tracking the contacts that are established during the pilot program. After the pilot program, we will be evaluating, as we just discussed, the methods of that. And then after the evaluation process, we will then hopefully go ahead and be able to deploy this to the rest of the department. So my call to action to you is I am seeking approval to go ahead and begin this process for direct email contact. I'm confident that after the evaluation, we'll see increased numbers in our right party contacts as well as customer satisfaction. With these outcomes, and after the 90 days, I do expect for that pilot program to then be rolled out to the remainder of the department. What this reflects is increased customer satisfaction, increased employee morale with increased scorecard rates, as well as an overall increased employee and customer satisfaction, which is our #1 goal. Thank you very much for your time. Do you have any questions?